start sharing my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Just give me a thumbs up. Okay, that's great. So the game plan for today is I think we're just gonna catch up. So I think Allie has played chess before. I think I checked out their chess account. They're like 900 in Blitz, which is impressive. We are going to start off today by catching everyone up pretty much. We're gonna hopefully finish how to play, and we're gonna do some basic tactics and maybe some basic strategy as well. Now we're gonna start off. I would like to know how far everyone is. Who here knows how to play? Just say in chat like I know how to play. Okay. Ray and Jonathan, do you two know how to play chess?
I know how to play chess.
All right, Rain. Okay. Rain, do you know how to play? No. All right. So I guess we're gonna catch everyone up to speed first. So in chess, the object of the game is to checkmate, right? We're gonna learn about that later. For now, we're just learning about all the different pieces because there's a ton of different pieces. Now, on my screen, do you see this rook? This guy right here. He's who we're gonna focus on. He's the first piece, and he's very simple, just straight lines, right? So you know, you can just take it like that. And then here, you can just watch. You guys can just watch for now. You can just take in straight lines. Now, this is a bit of a puzzle, okay? So you want to make as few moves as possible. Which star should we take first? The one on the left or the one on the right?
The left.
Yeah, and why is that?
Because if you go right, you're going to have to go down and then go left and then go up, which makes 4 moves.
Exactly, that's a lot of moves. Jonathan, Rain, do you understand? All right, Rain's got it. Jonathan, did you hear what Ellie just said? All right, so we're going to take the left one first, and now we're going to take the right one, and then now the down one. So everybody think about this one. Which star should you take first? This one or this one? Could everybody in chat, can everyone open up the chat option? Once you have the chat option open, there should be something that says to everyone. I want you to change it to Oliver or to Junior Coach team. So you're only sending me your answer because I don't want you guys to cheat off each other. So once you have me selected, choose the left star or the bottom star and then send me your guess. Okay. Okay, Jonathan, which one do you think it is? Oh, someone's impressive using notation already. Very fancy, Jonathan. Quite very impressive. Yeah. So, Jonathan, so all of you got it correct. Very good. Now, Jonathan actually said something different. So, Ali and Rain, you guys only said bottom, which is correct. I was asking left or bottom. But Jonathan, he went a step further. He said H7. Now, does everyone here understand what he was saying, what he meant when he said H7?
Yeah.
Rain, do you understand what he meant by H7? Yeah. So, Jonathan's kind of ahead. I was going to wait till after we finish this rook lesson. But yeah, from now on, for your guesses, I think we're going to start using notation already because, you know, Jonathan decided to go ahead. H7 would be the correct answer here. And after H7, there's only one choice. And now, which star should we take? Now, everybody send me the answer. But once again, I want you to use notation this time. You want to use as few moves as possible. So which one should you take? Right. Okay, so quick question for you, Jonathan. You did the notation. That's great. I want to mention something, actually. For notation, please use lowercase letters. This doesn't actually matter much, but Later on, if you play chess games, it'll be easier to use lowercase notation because uppercase is for the piece names. Okay, so from now on, lowercase as well. Now, the answer here would be G1, not G8, because if you play to G8, G8 is bad. If you play to G8, now no matter which one you take, you're going to be like offline and you can't take a next move. So now you're going to have to move all the way over here or here to take it again, which is a waste of time. So what we would do is which one was it? Here, instead, you're going to take G1, so you can go back up and then take here. Moving on, this time we have 2 rooks. So, this rook just takes both, pretty simple. And then this rook just takes these 2. Now here, which star should we take first? There's two answers. All right, Rain, what did you mean by G1? Did you like type the wrong letter? Because there's no G1. G1 would be here, and I don't see anything. D1 is correct, though. This is one of the answers. D1 is correct. All right, so Jonathan, your notation was correct. Yep, very nice, lowercase letters. And D1 is also correct, but you and Rain both did the same thing. You two both said D1, but then you said something that's wrong. So I think Rain typed something wrong, but you said F7. Now, there's actually a problem with F7. So this rook just takes these 2. Simple enough. This rook, though, is a bit special. It cannot take this star first, because if it takes this star, it has no way to get back to here. Because if you take here, now you have to move to get the next star. You don't want to move. You just want to take it immediately. So instead, what you should do is, sorry, have to restart. Take the F2 first. Then you go up to F7. And now which one should you take? Everyone send the answer. Which one should you take first so you use as little moves as possible? Mm-hmm. All right, now Rain, what happens if you take that star first? What's the problem? Once you take one of these stars, how are you going to take the other one? Right? So the general idea is to take the star where you can move, where after taking the, where you just got to plan ahead, right? Something big in chess is calculation, and you got to think ahead. And you got to think, 1 second, makes me restart every time, it's pretty annoying. You got to think, if I take G7, it wastes my time. I have to go to B7, and then G7, and then G4. All right, everybody, we finished the rook section. We're going to move to the bishops now. Now, the bishops are very similar to the rooks, and they move in a straight line, but they move on a diagonal. So which star should we take first? This is our next quick puzzle. Jonathan seems to be having some technical issues over there. We're going to wait for him. Everybody else, good job, good job. All right, Jonathan, I want you to think about that one. Make sure you got the correct notation. This square is what? A2. All right. So you are correct. We take here and then here. This one is a bit more difficult. What should we take first in this one? Nice job, nice job. All right, now we're gonna first figure out, so 2 of you said B6, good job, but 1 person said G7, and there's a problem with G7. The idea path is you go to B6, then you go back here, take down here, go back up here, here, and here. That is the correct solution. Going to G7, then you are stuck, because if you go back to if you go back to A1, you can't go to anyone from there. And same with H6. Now, I'm going to teach everyone a little trick for these puzzles, okay? What you're going to do with this trick is you're going to connect every single possible, every single possible star taking way. I think this is it. And in this position, once you connect these stars, your job is to, wait, give me a sec, this one's bad. All right, 1 sec. Never mind, it kind of doesn't work here. Okay, whatever. Forget what I said. It doesn't work in this circumstance. What am I doing? I am crazy. Your teacher is crazy. All right, for this next one, one of the tricks is to find dead ends, right? So if you find a dead end, you pretty much know that's where you're going to end. Now, a dead end here would be E2, because from E2, you can only take 1 possible star, right? So let's just take this as a trick. E2 is our ending, right? So how are we going to get to E2? Yeah, so the trick is to find which stars can only come from one direction, because that means once you get to that star, you can't go anywhere else, so that it must be the answer. So which star should we take first? Good job. Yes, good job, everyone got it. Very impressive. Now we're going to learn about something special. Rooks can go on every single square of the board, right? Let's say we have a rook on A8. Actually, let's make a rook. I'll show you what I mean. If we have a rook, this rook can move to any square. Can someone unmute and then just say a random square on the board? Any square.
H8.
H8, easy. Rook moves here. Let's say here. Rook can move there. He just takes 2 turns, right? There's a problem with bishops. Bishops are very special. Because they can only move on the diagonal, you can refer to bishops by their color. A bishop is either a dark squared bishop or a light squared bishop. A bishop on E1 is on a dark square, so it will always be on the dark squares. It will never go onto the light squares. No matter what, it can never go into a light square because it only goes in diagonals, and that's just how the chessboard is made. I can never go into the light squares of my dark squared bishop, and if I'm a light squared bishop, I can never go into the dark squares. So here you can see that all of these stars cannot be taken by a single bishop, even if you have infinite moves, right? You need 2 different bishops. So this bishop, no matter how far I move it, I can never take the dark squared ones. Do you guys see? It's impossible. Meanwhile, the dark squared bishop can just eat him up. In this guy is pretty simple. Wait, what am I doing? I didn't see that other one. My bad. Now, the queen. The queen, as it says here, is a rook plus bishop. Now, the queen is the most powerful piece on the board because, it's rook is powerful and bishop is powerful, and the queen is both of them combined. The queen can move so many squares. Now, I'm just going to quickly show you what I mean by that. The rook, at all times, can move to, I believe it's 14 squares. A rook can always move to 14 squares, no matter where it is. No matter where it is, it'll have 7. Well, not 7. It'll have 7 in a line, right? And then 7 in the other line, no matter what. Now, the bishop, it's a bit different. The bishop, depending on where it is, can move to a different amount of squares. If the bishop is here, it can move to 7 squares. All right? 7 squares. But if it's in the middle, well, it can move 7 squares here. Sorry. But it can also move 6 squares here. You know, bishop changes based on where it is. But the queen is a mix of both. So if you have a queen in the center, it has the power of the bishop, which is, you know, quite powerful. And it also has the power of a rook, which is also super powerful. So a queen can control, like, the entire board, which is why queens are so important. Now, I'm going to give our first vocab of the day, all right? So at the end of each day, I'm going to, like, quickly test everyone on all the vocab. So if you got to memorize this, definitely. It's very important. So let's talk about ranks, files, and diagonals, all right? Those are our first vocabs. A rank is a line horizontally, right? Ranks go with numbers. So if you say the 7th rank, it would be right here. And the 2nd rank would be here. Meanwhile, we have files. Files are the opposite of ranks. They go vertically. So you refer to a file by its letter, the E file or the C file, right? Now, lastly, we have diagonals, all right? Now, diagonals are referred to by the 2 squares at its ends, right? So this diagonal would be called C1, H6. This diagonal would be called H5, E8. Now, can someone tell me what the longest diagonals on the board are? In chat, just tell me what the longest diagonal. Tell me the 2 squares on it. There's actually 2 of the longest diagonals. Which ones are they? Good job. Rain got one of them. Rain got A1 to H8. That's one of the longest ones. What's the other one called? Yep, Allie got the other one. H1, A8. So, these 2 diagonals are the most powerful ones, and they have special names. We call them... What am I doing? Fianchetto. I don't know how I got that. Fianchetto. The fianchetto is related to the longest diagonals. Now, a fianchetto is basically when you get a bishop onto the super long diagonals. Because remember what I said earlier about bishops being more powerful on certain squares, right? If a bishop is on this diagonal, it only, into the enemy territory, it only shoots like 4 times. But if the bishop is on one of the longest diagonals, we call this a fianchetto. A fianchettoed bishop, fianchetto only works with bishops, although you could technically use a queen about it. But a fianchettoed bishop basically has a ton of range into the enemy side, which is why a fianchettoed bishop is super powerful. There are there's openings, right? There's openings where what you do immediately is make a fianchetto. And an opening is like, you know, like a plan at the beginning of a chess game. There are a lot of openings where you just immediately make a fianchettoed bishop because it's very powerful. Now, going back to here, the queen, rook plus bishop. What should we take first here? No, we only have one option. What am I saying? Nothing fancy yet. Okay. Here, what should we take? If you take d6, what happens next? You gotta think into the future, do some calculation. All right, good job, Jonathan. Waiting for one more response, and then we got it. All right. Ooh, Ali with a whole answer. Very nice. So once you take h6, you take d6. And from d6, you can take either one. That's how powerful the queen is, because you have so many options. Let's take here first, just because why not? All right, now this is much more difficult. Good luck, everyone. Actually, I need to take a second because I don't remember. This one's very hard, so I want everyone to take a lot of time on this one. All right, everybody, I'm going to give a quick hint. Remember the little trick about dead ends. Look at each star and see how many stars that star can interact with. For example, the H5 star can interact with 2. But if you find a dead end star, that is usually the end point, right? So we have a dead end star on D3. There's only one way to get to it. So try to start from D3 and make your way backwards. All right, so G8 is not actually correct. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the dead end trick, all right? So we're going to start on D. We're going to start from D3, and we're going to make our way backwards. So B5, right? That's the only way we can go. Now from B5, where do we go next? We only have one option. Where can we go? H5, correct. Now for H5, we only have one option. Where do we go? H2, correct. By the way, guys, don't unless we're doing like a puzzle where everyone's supposed to solve it, if I just ask you a question like this, feel free to shout it out if you want. Much quicker than typing. H2, yes, correct. And from H2, we have two options. We can go to A2 or we can go to G1, right? So which one do you guys should test out both. Test out both of them. See which one works better. So A2 or G1, that is the question.
Does it really matter?
It does. What happens if you take what if you go to A2 from not A2. What if you go to G1 from here? Where would you go next? H8 and then A2. Yes, you are ending on A2, but how are you going to get to A2? You want to end on your queen because that's how your queen moves. What you want to do here is you want to go to A2, then H8, then not H8, then G8, then G1. That way you can go back to your queen. So you start at your queen and you go to the dead end. That's the trick. All right, we got another puzzle. Let's see. Yeah, can we do the dead end from here? Can we? I don't think I see any dead ends. Ooh, is this guy a dead end? Looks like he's a dead end. This guy's a dead end, yeah. Interesting. All right, go ahead, everyone. Let's try to solve this one. All right, so H1 is not the correct answer, but it is close. Before we go to H1, we should try to get someone else. Nope, it is not F2. We have someone before that. So once again, dead end trick. Who should we end with? We should end with G8 because G8 can only go to G6. From G6, we can go to actually A6 if we take this one before. Because remember, we're doing like everything backwards. So the correct answer would be, let me just make sure. You take D1, H1, and you do that big combination. Now, the king, all right, the king is the worst piece. The game of chess is very ironic because the king is the most important piece, but it's also the worst piece. If you lose your king, you lose the game, but the king is also horrible. Look at all these green dots. This is where the king can move. It's tiny. The queen goes in every direction as far as it wants. The king is just like so fat, he just moves one step and he's done. That's it. Look how slow he is. From here to get to the star, I have to move so many times. Horrible piece. All right. Here. And last but not least, this one. Notice how inefficient he is. Horrible. The king just moves to squares touching him. Pretty simple. The knight is the hardest piece, okay? So everyone, you gotta pay extra attention to this. Now, the knight moves in an L shape, right? So, there's a lot of ways to remember it. I know some people who say, you move 2 squares forward and 1 square to the side, right? And that does work, I guess. That is correct. There's a lot of ways to remember it. You could also just think it moves in like, one square forward, then 1 square diagonally, right? There's a ton of ways to remember it. It's quite interesting. They jump out, very fancy. So this puzzle, look at this. It moves so weird. Now, which star should we take first in this puzzle? Yeah. Ooh. Okay. All right. So D5 is not correct. It is actually E6. If you go to D5, then you end up stranded, right? Because you got to get from one of these to the other, and you can't. But if you go to E6, you just jump around. Now, one of the special things about knights is they can jump, right? So we're gonna go back to our board editor. Let's say we have a rook here. Can he move to D8? Can he move there?
Yeah.
He can. But what if I put a piece in the way? Can he move there anymore?
No.
He cannot. Yeah, someone's in his way. Same goes for bishop. Like a bishop here cannot move to A8. And same goes for the queen. The queen cannot move to D8. But the knight is special. The knight can be completely surrounded, and it can jump over. That's why it's so great in invading the enemy territory, because you can just jump all over the place. So pretty fancy. That is why the knight is so amazing. The knight just jumps over, right? And then it just starts eating stuff up. And another puzzle. Any guesses? Which one should we go for first? Okay, so quick tip. Once again, the dead end trick is so helpful. You got to realize this is not a dead end. It can go to two different places, right? This is not a dead end. It can go to two different places, you know. But then you realize this guy's a dead end. He can only go here, and from here you can only go here. Because if you go to the knight, then that's like your whole thing. You can't do that. You go here, then here, then here, then here, then here. So that would be the solution. The dead end trick, you start from the dead end and you end at the piece. That is how you do it. So this one's much more difficult, but it's the last one. After this, we're on to the pawn, and then we'll be done with all the pieces. So good luck on this one. This one's pretty hard. Try to find the dead end. All right. How do you go to e7? How can you even attack it? All right. You guys both said d5. All right. D5 workout. From d5, where would you go next? I don't think d5 works, does it? Am I missing something? Maybe there's like two solutions. I don't think d5 works. I will check quickly. Make sure I'm not crazy. No, I don't think d5 works. After d5, where would you go? Here. That's a dead end. I'm pretty sure the answer is b5. And okay, I'm actually gonna point it out. This guy seems to be at a dead end. And once you go here, you can go here. Whoops, that's too long. By that. Here. I'm pretty sure that's the solution. If you guys are 100% sure it's d5, maybe there's two solutions and I missed something. Wait, am I going the wrong way? I'm pretty sure I'm correct. All right. Now we are going to talk about the pawn. The pawn is very special because it's the piece you have the most of, all right? So when we look at the board editor, notice how we have two rooks, two knights, two bishops, and a queen and a king, happily in the center. And then you have an army of pawns in the front. You have so many pawns. So, pawns are pretty weak, and they only move a single step at the time. They have some exceptions, which we'll talk about, but for general purposes, they only move one step at the time. But does anyone know what happens when the pawn gets to the end?
It turns into a queen, rook, bishop, or knight.
Exactly. Now, which piece do you want to make it into? Just quickly reminding everyone, we got a star here. What piece should be turned into?
Bishop or queen?
Yeah, bishop or queen. So now we're going to just do queen for now, because generally a good idea to make it as powerful as possible. Now, as it says here, most of the time promoting to the queen is the best, but sometimes a knight can be helpful because remember, a queen is a rook plus a bishop. So if you want a rook, why not just choose a queen? It's the same thing but better. If you want a bishop, why not choose a queen? It's the same thing but better. But a queen is not anything like a knight. The knight is very unique. So under this circumstance, we're going to choose a knight. Now, we're going to learn about one of the pawn's special quirks that make it so special. The pawns move forward, but they capture diagonally. So from here, I could keep moving, but I also could take like this. And here, we're going to take, move forward, take, queen. And everybody, let's realize something. What happens if we take on b5? What would happen?
Blocking the way.
Exactly. So if you take on b5, you lose because you can't move forward because he's blocking you, and you can't take because you take diagonally. That's what's so special about the pawn. Pawns block each other a lot. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take down here, become a, what can we become? Queen. Why not just a queen? Simple. And then we're done. Now, how should we solve this one? How should we take everything? So what we're going to do, because I realize it's going to be very hard for you to write it out, is we're just going to take. Now, one of the other special abilities of the pawn, all right? You can move one square forward, but if you're on the second rank, or if you're playing black, you're on the 7th rank, you can move 2 squares at once, right? So it's very powerful in the beginning to move 2 squares at once because you get extra ground, basically. And here we're going to do some more capturing, I guess. So now we've learned all of the chess pieces, all right? Now we're going to move on to some fundamentals. But before we do that, I want to test everyone on some vocabulary. Allie, what is a file? Unmute and then tell me what a file is.
It's like vertical on a chessboard.
All right, good job. Jonathan, what's a rank? Jonathan, can you unmute and then tell me what a rank is?
Is it going up?
No, it's going sideways. File is up, rank is sideways. All right, just remember that. They're both straight lines, though. And lastly, Rain, what's a diagonal? And more importantly, what's it called when you put a bishop on the long diagonal? It's a very hard word. See if you remember it.
I don't know.
You don't know? All right. So, wait. Okay. Diagonal is just, any diagonal. The bishop on a diagonal, we call that a fianchetto. Actually, how do you pronounce that? I pronounce it fianchetto. How to pronounce? We're going to learn this together. Detective time. Pronounce. Everybody listen up.
Fianchetto.
Fianchetto, actually. Both.
Fianchetto. Fianchetto.
All right, it's fianchetto, actually. I learned something every day. Interesting. All right, we're going to move on to some fundamentals now. Just capture. We're just going to take these pieces. Simple. Now, here is a more difficult thing. We got to think about it. Let's see if I can get rid of the arrows. Yeah. Which piece should we take right now? The rook or the pawn?
The rook.
Now, why can't we take the pawn?
Because then the rook will take the queen.
Exactly. So we're going to take the rook and then the pawn. Here, what should we take? All right, so we got some b5s in the chat. Very nice. After we take b5, are we going to go here to take the pawn or here to take the rook? Rook, exactly. Because if we take the pawn, then the rook would take us. Now, how do we take these pieces? Everything's defending each other. This pawn's defending this pawn. This knight's defending this pawn. The bishop's attacking, defending the knight. But this bishop is not defended, so I think we're going to go for the bishop first. But what happens if we go here?
The knight takes.
Exactly. So what we're going to do instead is go up here. Then we're going to make our over, take the bishop, then the knight, and the pawns. Okay, same with this one. Bit difficult. How can we take everything? All right, knight h5. Ooh, Ali said something very interesting. This is something important for us to notice. What happens if you, let's say you have two pieces, right? You have one second, you have a rook here and a bishop here, all right? And you just say f7. Well, that is so vague because which piece to f7? That is why in notation is like when you name a move, you will say what piece you're doing it with. Rook f7 or bishop f7. Now, when you write it down, you use the capital letter, right? So bishop is B, capital B. Rook is R, right? But what happens with king and knight? Because king and knight, they are both Ks, right? So in this circumstance,
You move on to the next letter.
Yeah. So, from here, if you wanted to say knight to d2, you cannot say k d2. You say n d2. Knight is set as n because like it sounds like night, because like nighttime or like opposite of day night. So remember this: whenever you say knight, you say n. King is still k like normal. So here we're gonna take here, and we're done. Now we're gonna learn about protection, right? Keeping our pieces safe. So we're currently under attack, so we're gonna run. Who here wants to run to b1? Why is running to b1 bad?
Your rook is going to get captured.
By the bishop, exactly. So we're going to move to c1 instead. Here, where can we move safely? Knight to what square? All right, everyone's a bit quiet. I'm just gonna save the answer. We're gonna move knight to here, 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 or here, because the queen is covering those squares. Oh, I guess we're moving on. Okay, so here we cannot escape anywhere. All of these squares are being attacked by the queen, and you can't move off the board because you can't move off the board. So what we're gonna do here is defend our piece. Same here, we're gonna defend the piece. They defend each other. And here, we can't move here because we can't move to b1 because there's a rook on the b file. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna interrupt it by playing pawn to d4. Here, our rook can't escape because there's a rook on the first rank. So instead we're gonna interpose with the knight. All right, next up, this one, I want everyone to think about this one. This one's a bit tricky. So, wait, is it tricky? No. Is this one really easy? Am I going crazy? Is it just rook to b1? Never mind, that's easy. This one should be the hard one. Hopefully. Never mind. Protection's easy, I guess. Nothing special for you guys. All right, so now we're gonna do combat. We're gonna capture and defend at the same time. So what should we do? We gotta save our pieces and take the black pieces. How can we do this? Okay, so I just heard pawn a5 with pa5. Now, there's a problem with that. Pawn is not p, actually. Pawn, we write nothing for it. I don't know why we do this, and it's really weird, but we just write a5, right? And after that, we can take the rook. Excellent. So here we're going to defend, all right? And then we're going to move our bishop here. We're going to take, and then take. If we take the rook, right, then we start losing knights, which is not so great. So I think we're going to defend first, right? We got to defend all our pieces. So we're going to go here to defend, take the knight, and then go for the rook. All right, so how should we do this one? Jonathan, Rain, any ideas? What should we do here? Well, if you take on c8, then the bishop will take you, right? You got to make sure you don't lose any of your pieces. Our goal here is to protect our pieces and take other pieces. Nope, there's a problem with knight f5. If you take on f5, then he takes your pawn. Guys, remember, we got our number one thing is to protect our own pieces. How can we protect our own piece? Nope. Well, c4 kind of works, right? It works for now, but after you take the bishop, then you lose it, right? c4 is a short-term solution, which doesn't work over time. So what can we do to save it all? Because we don't want to lose anything. Yes, good job, Jonathan. We defend c3, then we take, and then we can go take the rook. That is correct. Now we're going to take black pieces. Once again, how are we going to defend our own pieces? These two are under attack. Yeah, this guy's that. We're going to defend everything. How? Bishop f4. That's an interesting idea. All right, what do we do after bishop f4? What do we do next? We're going to have a long-term plan. What is our plan? Guys, what do we do next? There's actually like a little trick here. We got to go for the queen somehow. But how are we going to do it? All right. See, that is the little trick right there. Knight e3 does not work. If you go here, then he takes your pawn. So there's a different way we gotta get to attacking the queen, which would be knight to h4. Then we take it, and we could move our knight all the way down, but I think we should do something funny. Let's go make ourselves a let's make ourselves a bishop. You know, just for fun, why not? All right, now we're gonna start talking about what's the goal of chess. Okay, now we know how all the pieces move, and we know some basic protection, capturing, combat, right? But what are you trying to do in chess? Well, the goal is to do checkmate. What checkmate means is that your opponent's king is under attack, and no matter what he does this turn, you will be able to take his king next turn, right? So if you can take his king next turn, you're guaranteed to win, right? Now, can everyone hear my voice okay right now? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Wow. Hello?
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 Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right. Okay. Don't know what just happened. Is my voice like quiet right now, or is it okay?
It's okay.
All right, that's great. So, I'm just gonna re-explain everything because I don't know how much you heard. But the goal of chess is to perform checkmate, and in checkmate, you want to basically make it so your opponent's king cannot escape the check, and that means that no matter what your opponent does, you will capture his king next move, even though we're not really going to capture it. So to just check someone basically just means to attack their king. You know, we're just going to attack it. Now, if we attack here, we get taken, right? Because of the knight. So how can we check his king here? All right. Take the knight. Well, that is check, right? But his king will take you. Remember, we're trying to save our pieces here. We don't just want to give check. We want to give check, but like survive, right? So we got to give like a sustainable check. We can play a single move and check, right? We don't have to do multiple moves. There's actually a place where we can move where we can check immediately. Do you guys have any ideas for this one? It's pretty difficult. All right, I'll give the answer since you guys keep getting it wrong. Queen to h3 is how to do it, right? That way you didn't get attacked. Here, bishop to g6 gets killed by the rook, or taken. So we're going to move here. Bishop can't do anything. Knight can't do anything. I'm going to pawn up. Knight to here. Queen here gets taken by the knight. Queen here gets taken by the knight. Queen here gets taken by the knight. But queen here does not. Because we got the rook to back it up, right? So I'm just going to show you because it doesn't seem to be letting me. This rook is defending the queen. Do you guys understand? So if we play queen to b8, we'll basically be able to attack the king without, getting taken in turn. And aim at the opponent's king in one move. We're going to do that now. We can move our knight out of place. This is called a discovered check. We move out while performing check. Now we're going to do the opposite, okay? So now we are being checked and we got to run out of it. All right, so we got to escape. So where can we go? Block this time. This time we can take the person. Take. And this one. Ooh, this one's interesting. How can we escape check this time?
I can't hear you again.
Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I have no idea why my microphone is like this. It's so annoying. So I just want everyone to put in the answers for what you think the problem is for this one. The answer for this problem. Yep, king to e4, we escape. And the last one we are going to block. Okay, so now we're going to try our first challenge, all right? Let me think. We're going to go back to edit check for a sec. All right, everybody. Can everybody turn on their camera and then unmute? Jonathan, Allie, can you guys also turn on your camera and unmute? Although you guys are already.
Your voice is soft again.
Is this better? Okay, so I don't know why it just keeps like mirroring itself down. Everybody unmute, okay? Because we're gonna have a quick game, all right? Everybody unmute, stay unmuted. Okay, so I'm gonna move to mate in one, all right? And you guys gotta shout out the answer, okay? Because you gotta mate in a single move. Basically, that means you attack your opponent's king, so they can't be defended. This is the first one, all right? So I want everyone to race on these. How do you checkmate?
Knight f7.
Yep, That's it. Good job. Next one. Let's go.
Wait. Rook.
Rook H8.
Yep, rook H8. That is correct.
Knight E8.
Yep, 98. Good job.
Pawn E7.
Exactly. Pawn B7. Good job. Next one.
Bishop F3.
Exactly. Now this one, if you take the bishop, I'm gonna go back actually. If you take the bishop, he can't take with his rook. He can't take with his rook because his rook is because your rook would be attacking his king, right? Good job. Last one.
Queen E7.
Is Queen E7 correct? It is. All right. Good job. Okay, so now we are going to quickly learn about the some intermediate things. These are just like chess rules, right? But they're a bit fancier, and some people might actually not even know them, right? So this is just how the board sets up. You know, this is just how it's set up. Now the rooks, they go in the corner. The knights go here. The bishops, one for each color. The queen goes on the D file, all right? Remember that. Queen goes on D file, king goes on E file, right? And the pawns just make a line in front of everyone. Now we are going to learn about castling, all right? So a king in like real life would live in a castle. So castling is something you can do to move your king into his castle, right? So how that works is you need 2 empty spaces to the right or 3 empty spaces to the left of your king, and then he moves 2 squares, and then they flip over, all right? And then 2 squares this way to castle queen side. So here we're going to move our knight and then castle. We're going to move out our pieces. Actually, no, we're going to do something else. Who remembers what this is called with the bishop on that square? There was a special name for this, one of our vocab words, when you put your bishop on this square. Yep, a fianchetto. And then we're going to castle. Now we're going to castle queen side, fianchetto, because, you know, why not? More a queen with this, actually, we're going to be fancy. Now, there are some rules for castling. You cannot castle if the king has moved or if the rook has moved. This rook has moved, so we cannot castle this side. We can only castle queen side. You cannot castle if you would be checked on the way because there's a bishop doing this. So first we're going to block the check, right? And then we're going to castle. We can't castle right now because we have the bishop in the way and because we would be castling into check. Because, you know, our king can't go here if the knight's there. So we're going to take the knight, and then we're going to castle. And here, once again, we have so many pieces interfering. So how are we going to stop this one? I think we're going to start off by playing this, and then block here, and then castle. Our last... Not our last. Well, this is our last technical pawn thing, right? So en passant is French, right? It means in passing. If I'm correct, it means in passing, I believe. In passing, yeah. So basically, it's a special move that It happens if your pawn is on the 5th rank, or if you're black, if your pawn is on the 4th rank, and the opponent moves their pawn 2 squares, right? So it's like, if I move it 1 square, you're going to take me. So I'm going to move it 2 squares. But it's like, you know what? You think you can get away with it, but I'm going to take you anyways. So that's a special move. And I cannot take here. It only works immediately after they move the pawn. You can't take it at any time, only once they do it. And this guy cannot take, only you have to be on the 5th rank. And we're going to take all the pawns now on passant. Oh, whoops. Last one, stalemate. After we do stalemate, we're going to start setting up our lead chess accounts, and I think we might start a simultaneous game. So, to stalemate black, the game can end in a bunch of different ways, all right? The first way a game can end is with someone being checkmated. That's like the normal way to end a game. I've killed you, basically. The second way is resign. If someone resigns, it means like they give up. They just don't want to play anymore because they think it's too hard. Another way the game can end is if one person runs out of time. We're going to talk about time later. And it can also be a tie. Each person can get like, it can be a tie where both people draw. Now, there's a few ways. The first way is to offer a draw. If you think like the position is really even, you can like put your hand over the table and then offer a handshake and then be like, do you want to draw? Which is like, we tied. Another way is a stalemate. Basically, if one person cannot move at all, it's a tie. So here we're going to stalemate black. He cannot move anywhere because his king is completely locked in. And this is actually a tie. And we're going to stalemate black again. How do we stalemate him here? Answers in the chat, please. How should we perform a... Okay, good job. Oh, wait. Okay, Rain. That's a check, right? We're trying to do a stalemate here. Rook e1, it is a check, right? But that's not our goal. Our goal is to make it so the king cannot move. Here, the king can move. He can move, he can move to d8. We just want to make it so he can't move at all. Any ideas? All right, I'll give the answer because it's a bit difficult. Knight to g6, that's how we do it. All the squares are covered. Now, to stalemate him, just reminding you all, black cannot be able to move anywhere, and there is no check allowed at all. No check. So we're going to move our rook to here, and that is a stalemate. The knight cannot move because the bishop is pinning it. The knight cannot move. Now we got another stalemate puzzle. Right now, these pawns cannot move. This pawn cannot move. These pawns cannot move, and the king cannot move. But this rook can move, so we're going to take the rook, and that's stalemate. All right, everybody. Now we're going to start our first Lichess related thing. So I'd like everyone, or can everyone go to lichess.org on their computer? Okay, so we're going to need a name for this simul. Our name is going to be, I need to think of something. It's going to be called something that everyone can remember. Okay, it's going to be called AJR simul because that's all of your names combined. Everyone's going to have 20 minutes. Clock increment of no seconds. I want no extra time. Random. Okay. Simul is starting. So, is everyone in their Lichess account? Can I have a thumbs up if you do? If you're on it. All right, Rain, are you on your Lichess account?
I don't know how to go in.
What do you mean? Are you logged in? Jonathan, so what I want you to do is in the top right of your screen, what does it say?
Top right.
Yep, on lichess.org, what does it say?
I don't have that. I don't have that.
What does your computer screen show right now?
Now shows Google.
Google. All right. So in the little URL at the top, can you type in lichess.org? lichess.org. All right. Are you on the website now?
I am now.
Okay. In the top right of your screen, what does it say? Should say a name. What does your name say?
I don't have a name,
Does
but
it say sign in?
it didn't say sign in.
Uh,
So now I'm on top right.
yeah, top right of your screen. It should say sign in or it should say a name.
It just said one game and play one.
One game in. That's interesting. Give me a sec. Should say your name no matter where you are. That's interesting.
Didn't say my name.
All right. Could you I'm gonna stop my screen share. Can you go to the Google? Can you go to the Zoom meet and then click the share screen button at the bottom?
I don't see any share screen.
Let me see. Do you guys have permission to do this? Oh, never mind. You guys don't have this permission. Now you should be able to see it on the Zoom meet in the bottom. There should be a green button.
Where green button?
Actually, let me try this. On your keyboard, can you hold Alt and S?
O and S?
Alt, A-L-T, and S on your keyboard.
Yes, I'm holding A S L N T.
No. There's a button called Alt. It's like to the left of your spacebar. There's a button called Alt.
Oh, I have it.
Okay, so click on Alt and then click on T. Oh no, Alt and S, my bad. Click on Alt and then S.
I'm doing it at the same time.
Yep, and then let go. You should on your Zoom meet have a bunch of, like you should have seen a lot of stuff pop up.
Well, now it is.
Oh, is that your mom or dad?
Oh yeah, I just
That's my dad. That's my dad.
Can you see if he's logged into his Lichess account?
I think he's logged in. Lichess.org. Yes.
Yep. In the top right of his screen, does it say his name?
Yes, Jonathan
All right.
Gao.
Good. Everybody else in the top right of your screen, does it say your name?
Yeah.
All right. So now we're gonna join the simul. So this is what I want everyone to do. Okay. In the top left of your screen, it should say lichess.org, right? To the right of that, we have play, puzzles, learn, watch, community, and tools, okay? So I don't want you to click on it, but I want you to hover your mouse over play, okay? So if you want to watch my screen, see what I'm doing, you're going to take your mouse and hover it over play, and then you're going to click on simultaneous exhibitions. Actually, I'll send the link in chat. That should be easier for everyone. Once you're in, I'm going to send it in chat. Give me a sec. How do I do this? Zoom is so difficult. Okay, everybody in chat, can you? Sorry, sent it to the wrong person. Yes, good. Could everyone click on that link I sent in chat of the Zoom meet, lichess.org/simul. Once you get there, you should click on AJR simul. Or I'll just share the page URL. That's easier as well. I'll just send this in chat actually. Click on the new link. That should be easier. Everyone just click on the link I sent in chat of the Zoom meet. Should take you to the simul. And then you hit, yeah. Okay, Ali has joined. Very good. We also have we have an anonymous. Okay, someone might not be signed in. That's not good. Rain, can you tell me what it says in the top right of your screen? Oh, Rain's in. Never mind. Now we're just waiting for Jonathan. Jonathan, are you there? Jonathan, are you there? All right, Jonathan, can you
Yes, I am.
Can you go into the Zoom meet and then click on the button?
Zoom meet.
The Zoom meet, yeah, and click on the chat button.
That button. I did press it.
All right, there's a link at the bottom that says leechess.org/simo/BD7ADBSB. Can you click on that one?
Yeah.
Does it bring you to like a new page that says AJR Simul?
Wait. So you mean in the chat?
Yep, in the chat of the Zoom meet. There's like a blue URL. I want you to click on it.
Is it the first or second one?
The newest one. Yeah, the second one, yeah.
I pressed it.
All right. Now there should be a button in the top right of your screen. No, not the top right. Almost in the top right. It says join. It's like a big green button. Something like that.
I don't see any big green button.
All right. On your screen, in the do you see AJR Simul?
AJR Simul? Yeah.
All right. To the right of it, does it say by slicing bishop 2006, 1783?
Yeah.
All right. To the right of that, do you see a button?
I see sign in.
Oh, you're not signed in. All right. Can you call your dad over quickly?
This is slicing
Yes,
bishop
yeah,
2006 1783 sign in.
Yeah, you got to sign in because you're not in your account, so you can't play.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, I think we're gonna start for now, right? Everyone just start playing chess. I'm just gonna try to figure out what everyone's skill level is at.
I don't know the password.
Yeah, Jonathan, for now, your job is just to, basically just to figure out, what your password is and stuff. So I guess you can mute and then ask your dad and then unmute and tell me when you're finished.
Okay.
All right, so Rain, I want to talk to you about this. So you moved your pawn up and then your rook up. Why did you do that? What was your plan? Rain, can you unmute? Tell me your plan. Because we're going to have some sort of a plan, right? You're going to attack me. So how are you going to attack me? See, I am going to bring out my pieces because if I have my pieces, and I'm just going to start moving forward, right? That's my plan right now. I'm just going to slowly advance and then try to attack you. That is my goal. You got to have a plan, right? So maybe here you might want to play your pawn to d4, and that way you can move your bishop out or something, right? You always got to have a plan. We're going to talk more about planning and strategy and opening next time. But for now, I just want everyone to start thinking about some things. What would you do? Okay, so first of all, Ali, just want to make sure you're in the game. Are you like moving and playing? Because it's your turn. Second of all, Rain, see that it's a good move because now your bishop can come out and your queen can come out. I like it.
I already moved.
Oh, you did. Yeah. Sorry. Maybe there was definitely lag. I don't know why it didn't show up. All right. Okay, see, Rain, that is a very good move. You're developing your bishop. Very good. I like that. All right. This hates me. Petrov. Interesting. Okay, so Rain, we're gonna talk more about this next class. But you took a queen. You took a pawn, which is good. But now I take your bishop, which is not good. We're gonna talk more about this next time. We're going to talk more about like which pieces are worth more, but you just took your bishop and gave it to me, in exchange got a pawn. A bishop is actually much better than a pawn, so you should try not to do that. But for now, it's fine. I really like the bishop move and the pawn move. Development is always good. Bringing your pieces out. All right, Ellie, playing. Very interesting. Okay. Now, Rain, I'm going to castle here, right? Very powerful move. Castling is always great. All right. Well, Allie, watch very carefully, all right? This is called the Petrov opening, all right? We just played an opening called the Petrov. That's the name for it. And there's actually a trap in it, which I'm just going to play here. It's very powerful. I won your queen right there. It's quite cool. One of the most interesting traps. Okay, now I take your queen. Magical. All right, Rain, I want you to unmute and then tell me what I just did. I moved my bishop to the long diagonal. What is this called? Sorry, what did you say? It's called the fianchetto. Did you say that? Couldn't really hear you. All right, that was the fianchetto, Val. Very good. And now I'm just going to take more pieces. Okay, I just did a pin, right? Rain, what I just did there was I pinned your rook to your king. Now your rook cannot move because there is a king behind it, right? Pinning is something we will learn about next class. Pretty cool. Allie, we're going to have to remember one of the lessons today was defending, right? You always got to defend your pieces, right? You don't want to give up free pieces. All right, that's very good, Allie, attacking my piece. Very good. Okay, Rain. We're gonna talk once again. We're gonna talk more about piece values next turn. But what you just did was you just gave up. I think it was a bishop for a pawn, which isn't the greatest. But we'll learn more about piece values next time. All right, Allie. I want you to think carefully about what you just did. What was the mistake? You moved your rook out of attack, which is really good, but then you moved it into my queen. So remember, you want to move your pieces out of attack, but not if you can take them. And what you should have done is maybe blocked with your pawn or your knight, right? Because you can interpose, which means block. It's a very powerful thing. Okay, quite interesting. All right, well, Rain, our game has wrapped up. I just did a checkmate. I want you to figure out why that was checkmate. All right, Allie, very good defending your bishop, right? Very good defending your bishop. Very good. After me and Allie finish our game, we're going to, I'm going to give homework for next time, and then you guys will be out of here. Okay. Now, Ali, you did 2 things there. First off, you attacked my bishop. That is very good. But by moving your knight, your bishop is no longer defended. So overall, that was a mistake. However, it's okay. We will learn. Very good. Blocking. Let's see if I can do anything about it. I think I'll play queen to here. Moving. All right. Now we'll check again. All right, so I'm gonna start assigning homework because we're pretty much at the end. What I want everyone to do is, first off, I want you to make sure your Lichess account is working, okay? Because it's very important we have our Lichess accounts working. So, Jonathan, after class, I want you to go to your dad or your mom and then make sure they can get you logged into your Lichess account, right? Because we're gonna be using it to play games against each other and other stuff like that. And also, for homework, I want everyone to come to class tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next time. I want everyone to be ready with some important items, okay? Everyone's going to need paper and a pencil, all right? Everyone's going to need paper and a pencil. Or a pen. Honestly, any writing utensil works. That's pretty much it. Just make sure your Lichess accounts are working. Might assign some more, but I think that should be it. And that is the game. All right, good job, Ali. That was pretty good. I've won both games, but it's okay. Both of you demonstrated some pretty good ideas. We're going to learn more about strategy and tactics next time, all right? And on that note, make sure your Lichess accounts are working and bring paper and pencil to next class. I might send some more homework in an email. Just tell your parents to be on the lookout for that. For now, though, that's good, and everyone have a good day, all right?
Bye.